The Mayor and City Council welcome you to the Peoria City Council meeting. As a courtesy to others, please silence all phones. If you would like to address an issue that is on the agenda, or if you would like to speak to the Council regarding a non-agenda item, please complete a speaker request form, which can be found in the front lobby of the Peoria City Council chambers or in the tray to the left of the speaker's podium. Please place the completed speaker request form in the second tray to the left of the speaker's podium labeled Request to Speak. All speakers will have 3 minutes to complete their comments. A countdown clock is easily visible on the left side of the wall behind the City Council dais. Only items listed on the agenda may be addressed by the Council. Since items presented as part of a speaker's request have not been listed on the agenda, and due to the requirements of open meeting laws, the Council will be unable to respond to items presented as part of the speaker's request. However, please be aware that your comments will be noted. The speaker's name will be called to speak at the appropriate time, in the order that the forms were received. Thank you for your interest and participation in the Peoria City Council meeting.
The meeting will now come to order. Please rise for a moment of quiet reflection and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilmember Edwards.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk will please call the roll.
Mayor Carlett.
Here.
Vice Mayor Finn.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Hunt.
Here.
Councilmember Patena.
Here.
Councilmember Binsbacher.
Here.
Councilmember Edwards.
Here.
Councilmember Leone.
Here.
Council Liaison Acosta.
Here.
And Council Liaison Gietrist.
Here.
Good evening and welcome to the Peoria City Council meeting of May 1st, 2018. We have a number of presentations this evening, and we're going to begin with our presentation of the Mayor and Council's Young Arts Program. We were able to meet with those young artists over in the Pine Room just prior to this council meeting, and it was pretty amazing to see some of the artwork that these kids did. I would really like to thank the teachers and the administrators and PUSD for their partnership, and especially the artists who had the courage to hang their artwork in our Pine Room for the last month or so to be viewed by many, many people who came to our City Council chambers. So thank you for all that you've done. Your art truly makes our city what it is. It's a city with depth and character and soul, and we so thank you for it. And so we would like to give you an award for that. And I'm going to invite our council youth liaisons to come down to the front to make those presentations.
Check, 1, 2. Hello, everybody. Thank you again to each of the students who have participated in the Mayor and Council's Young Artist Program. At this time, we'll be calling students in groups based on schools. When you hear a name, please come down to receive your certificate and stand for a group photo. From Skyview Elementary School, Kayla Jones, Ariana Diaz, Alessandro Vera. Congratulations. From Sunset Heights Elementary School, Elena Lucero, Tessa Cloward, Naomi Samuel. Congratulations. From Sundance Elementary School, Michelle Lucero Garcia, Cameron Smith, and Tani Sanderson. Congratulations. From Zuni Hills Elementary School, Shelby Dyer, Richard Van, and Jocelyn Yababin. Congratulations. From Park Ridge Elementary School, Nevaeh Hill, Isaac Buda, and Mia Munoz. Congratulations. From Peoria Traditional School, we have Dalen Campbell, Elise Foster, and Reese Naylor. Congratulations. From Peoria Elementary School, we have Breeses Rivero, Alice Slowtalker, and Angela Jablonski. Congratulations. And lastly, from Santa Fe Elementary School, we have Addie Effendick, Santino Leon Ortiz, and Veronica Pantoja. Again, congratulations to you all, and thank you for participating in this program.
Those are our council youth liaison, and I think I talked to a few of you artists about becoming council youth liaisons in the future. So you've got a great future ahead of you, and we're looking for your leadership in the city of Peoria. Thank you very much. And now we have some more people that we would like to welcome to the city of Peoria, and these are people who have decided to help us out in our boards and commissions. So I'm going to invite Vice Mayor Mike Finn to come down to the front. He is the chair of the council subcommittee for boards and commissions, and he is going to welcome our new members. We're going to take some more pictures.
Thank you, Mayor. I always like to take an opportunity to thank everybody who volunteers for the city. We have 22 boards and commissions, over 100 volunteers that help us every day, help us make decisions, make sure we're pointed in the right direction, and we would not be able to do that without those volunteers helping us. So I do always want to acknowledge everyone that's on a board and commission for their help and helping us guide the city. So with that, I'll start out with the first one on the Youth Advisory Board, Liam Beltram. You get to hold this and pose for many pictures. There you go. Okay. Congratulations. Next joining us on the Design Review Board is Glenn Bonita. For you. Thank you. And also joining us on the Youth Advisory Board is Tyron Clay. Congratulations. Also on the Youth Advisory Board is Juliet Garcia. Congratulations. And joining us on the Design Review Board is Charles Hoskins. And another new member on our Youth Advisory Board, Ashley Lopez Lira. So, I hope so, yeah, I guess so. Okay, all right. On our Economic Development Advisory Board and our Industrial Development Authority is Deborah Rubrick. Again, thank you all for volunteering, and congratulations on your selection. Thank you so much.
I know, it was believable. Could have been you.
There's no point in getting up if you're not going to have fun.
All right. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. These items are listed with a C, and they are considered routine by the City Council and have been previously addressed by the Council. Tonight's consent agenda includes items that require public hearing. If there is any member of the public present who wants to address a public hearing on the consent agenda, please complete a speaker request form and place it in the bin next to the speaker's podium. I have not received any speakers' request forms. Council, are there any items to be removed from consent? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, please vote. And the consent agenda passes unanimously. We will now move on to new business. This is item 15R, appointment of city attorney. This is discussion and possible action to adopt Resolution 2018-55, appointing Vanessa Hickman as the city attorney of the city of Peoria effective May 2nd, 2018, and approve the terms and conditions of the employment agreement. Council, is there any discussion? Do I have a motion on item 15R?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Council, please vote. And it passes unanimously. Thank you. Now, this is a really important evening for all of us. Our city attorney, Steve Berg, is going to be retiring, but we are very, very fortunate that we are going to be and have just unanimously voted to appoint Ms. Vanessa Hickman to serve as our next Peoria city attorney. Ms. Hickman's significant law career has encompassed a vast array of private, public, political, and academic spheres. At the ASU W.P. Carey School of Business, she was the executive director, Large Landowner Initiative, associate director for the real estate programs, and faculty associate, real estate law. She served at the Arizona State Land Department, first as the Deputy State Land Commissioner and then as the State Land Commissioner, managing, planning, and administering 9.3 million acres of state trust lands. Her public service is rounded out as the Deputy General Counsel to the Governor of the state of Arizona. Bookending her public service has been years of private practice, deeply embedding her knowledge of Arizona's laws pertaining to land use, historic preservation, municipal, county, state, tribal, and federal agency processes. Her appointment by a unanimous vote of this City Council is evidence of our confidence in the ability of Ms. Vanessa Hickman to perform the duties of a charter officer in the service to the citizens of the City of Peoria. Judge Anagnost, please join us for the formal swearing-in ceremony. I will now ask Ms. Hickman to proceed to the floor to be officially sworn in by Municipal Judge George Anagnost.
Does she want her kids down there? She
I told her she could.
Members of council, department heads, members of the public, I'm happy to assist in providing the oath. If I could ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the laws
and the laws
and Constitution
and Constitution
of the state of Arizona,
of the state of Arizona,
and I will faithfully perform
and I will faithfully perform
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of city attorney
of city attorney
for the city of Peoria
for the city of Peoria
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
upon my oath
Upon my oath
and in the presence of all.
and in the presence of all,
I do so swear.
I do so swear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Carlett, members of council and the public, congratulations on your new city attorney. Congratulations.
Ms. Hickman, would you care to say a few words?
Absolutely. Would you like me to go over here? I don't know if this is on.
It's on, isn't it?
Okay, absolutely. I would just like to say, Mayor, Council, thank you so much for your confidence and faith in selecting me to fill this position, and I will not let you down. I am so looking forward to taking on this new chapter in my life and having the opportunity to represent the city. Everybody has been extremely lovely. Everybody that I've met with the city has been fantastic, and Steve is a phenomenal attorney and wonderful head of the office, and I hope to step in and start learning from him over the next month during the transition and working with the exceptional legal staff you have, legal attorneys and staff. So again, thank you very much, Mayor, Council, and to my family. Thank you always for your support. And, serves me right for saying he's always wonderful, but, you should never say that about a 6-month-old. So, again, thank you very much, and I look forward to being with the city for a very long time. So thank you.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We are going to take a 10-minute recess. This meeting will now come to order, and we will move on with agenda item number 16R. This is intergovernmental agreement amendment, City of Phoenix 83rd Avenue fixed route bus service. Staff report from Mr. Tyne.
Great, thank you, Mayor and Council. This will be Stuart Kent, our Public Works and Utilities Director, will go through this proposed intergovernmental agreement between the two cities.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tyne. Good evening, Mayor and Council. We wanted to take an opportunity tonight to update you on this intergovernmental agreement between the City of Phoenix and Peoria for the 83rd Avenue bus route service. The purpose of the amendment is primarily because there's a cost reduction that Peoria will be the beneficiary of to the tune of about $160,000 relative to the service that we started this past November. So by way of background, I wanted to remind the council and the public that we started the service on 83rd Avenue and extended the service back in October of 2017. It's 9 miles connecting riders from the Arrowhead area through P83, down 83rd Avenue, all the way to Camelback Road. Part of that service, obviously, is also within the city of Glendale, and it connects ultimately all the way through to McDowell Road in the city of Phoenix. City of Phoenix is the operator, or the contractor we contract with. The rate is about 2.5% lower than what the FY18 rate is, and the total savings to the city over the current fiscal year will be about $169,000 in actual savings. So while 2.47% doesn't sound like much, it's a lot of service, and it's a great benefit to the city by having this amendment come forward. We've also, since the full start of service in November, we've seen a nice increase of almost 60% in ridership. Between November of 17, when the service started on a monthly basis, to March of 2018 of nearly 5,500 riders a month. As the service continues to grow and people become aware of it, we hope to continue to see this trend continue and provide service. With the service here, you'll also see not only at the bus stop is one of the new City of Peoria bus stop shelters that we've got in place and are continuing to put in as a part of the service. With that, Mayor and Council, that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Council, any questions? Yes, Councilmember Edwards.
Thank you, Mayor. Stuart, I just want to thank you and your staff for the hard work of working with Valley Metro and this IGA. I think it is so important for this bus route. But I mean, the increase in ridership is extremely significant. It really shows what you guys have talked about for quite some time, is that there is definitely a need for that ridership, or for that services there. So I look forward to the increased ridership, and I just love the fact that you're able to save us some money on top of it. So thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. To what do you attribute the lower cost per mile?
Part of it is, as Councilmember Edwards sort of gave me the credit for it, I'd love to take it, but that would be a little unrealistic. The part of the reality is there were some slightly reduced costs by First Transit and TransDev, which are the contractors for the City of Phoenix. And the other issue is when we first set up the route, while you measure the miles, then when you actually drive the miles, then you actually get a much clearer count of exactly how many miles the bus is driving continuously. So there was a slight reduction in the overall miles, and that's also contributed to the savings. Year over year, I wouldn't necessarily expect to see it occur. I think things like gas prices and a variety of other things could change it, but I think it's certainly a positive thing that we're seeing a savings, at least in the first full year of service.
We will take it. Great.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Council, any further discussion, questions? Do I have a motion?
No motion.
Second. The motion and a second. Council, please vote. And it passes unanimously. Thank you. We will now move on to item 17R. This is the adoption of the tentative budget for fiscal year 2019. Mr. Tyne.
Great, thank you. And we have Barry Haug, our Interim Management and Budget Director, will provide a presentation. This is the first in a series of formal adoption steps for the city budget.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As Jeff said, this is a series of steps for the formal adoption of the 2019 budget. This is the tentative budget, and that's really sets the maximum appropriation for the next fiscal year. So I have a few slides tonight on the budget, and I know you guys have seen these before, but I want to make sure that we think it's important that the public also sees this as we go through it. If I can figure it out. There we go. Oh. So developing a recommended budget is a collaborative effort. It includes significant input from departments, but also relies and requires direction from council. Last November, in preparation for this year's budget, we met with the City Council to discuss your vision, your council priorities. And these council priorities were the cornerstones for departments when developing their budgets. And throughout the year, council has provided continued guidance, not just during the budget process. And just three weeks ago, council had multiple budget study sessions where we discussed the operating and capital budget for fiscal year 2019. This slide outlines the key budget policy guidelines established in the council adopted principles of sound financial management, and this sets the stage for developing the recommended budget. Each year we update the 5-year long-range forecast, financial forecast that incorporates both revenue and expenditures estimates for all the city's major operating funds. This includes all revenues that are anticipated to be sustainable or recurring over that 5-year forecast and the known or anticipated ongoing expenditure requirements. And then we make sure we have met all those reserve requirements, and we apply any balances above those reserves to next year's budget. And here's the famous graph. This is the proposed budget. In summary, it totals $660 million, and that represents an 11.86% increase over the prior year. The operating budget is $294 million, which is a 6% increase, while the $277 million capital budget represents a 31% increase over the 2018 plan. The remaining items on the graph are budgeted to pay for the annual debt service, and that's at $42 million, and the contingency reserve at $47. And as a reminder, we budget contingency for various funds to give us that budget authority in case of an emergency. And only council has that authority to approve the use of those contingency funds. In early April and November through April, council really identified public safety as one of our top priority for the city. This is reflective in the proposed budget where almost 70% of the new available general fund operation resources were applied to the police and fire departments. And some of that you see on this slide where we have the 29 new FTEs for public safety. And in conjunction with the police strategic plan, this budget has 12 new FTEs for the police department. That includes 3 new police officers, 6 police service officers, a police service assistant, communications specialist, and a crime prevention coordinator. In the fire medical, with the expansion of the ambulance service, they would receive 16 new FTEs that are funded with the revenue that's generated from that service. Also, they're receiving an administrative assistant that is proposed using their current existing department budget. The next key area includes new positions related to development and growth. And these proposed 14.88 FTEs are funded through rates, fees, or dedicated revenues. In the other category, we have 3 other positions, and that's the real estate development officer, and that's funded through our half-cent sales tax. The parks and sports facility worker, which is planned as part of the operating impacts of the CIP. And we do that throughout the whole CIP program. We make sure that we have those operating costs for any of those projects that are coming up to make sure we can fund the whole project and operate them. And lastly, the rec coordinator paid by a grant in our adult day program. So as you can see, most of these positions have special revenues, rates, or fees, or grants that will help us fund these positions. Some important takeaways of the budget as recommended. It's a balanced budget that once again keeps our financial principles intact and maintains our services. There are no changes in the city sales tax rate or the total property tax rate for the fiscal 19 budget. Staff is recommending a 1-year rate adjustment for the city's residential and commercial solid waste rates, and the budget includes the 2nd year of the already approved 2-year rate adjustment for water and wastewater utility. Overall, this budget ensures that we are addressing important organizational objectives such as customer service, public safety, economic development, and maintaining quality services for our citizens. So tonight we're asking that council adopt the fiscal year 2019 tentative budget, which again sets the maximum budget appropriation. And then on May 15th, we would be asking council to approve the final budget, followed by the solid waste rate and property tax adoption on June 5th. And with that, I'll answer any further questions.
All right, council, any questions? All right, we have seen this budget, and we are happy that there is no tax increase, property tax, sales tax, and that we are following our principles of sound financial management as usual. And so I will entertain a motion.
I so move.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Did you have a comment? Ms.
I
Hunt?
do. I'm just so proud of this budget, and thank you enormously to all of the folks who work on it. I'm not known for my ability with numbers, okay, you know that. And that's why it's so important that we all be able to trust those who present this to us and present it in such a way that we can understand it and believe in it. I would hate to work for a city that did not have a balanced budget. That's not the way to do things. And so many of our government entities work always at a deficit, and we haven't done that in the 15 years I've been here. We've always had a balanced budget, and we may not get every single thing that we want, but we get most of it, and we still balance the budget. So just thank you to you guys, and just thank you.
All right. Did we have a motion?
I did, and somebody...
You did. We have a motion and a second. All right, council, please vote. And that passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, we will now move on to item 18R. This is the capital improvement program for fiscal years 2019 to 2028. Mr. Tyne.
Great. And again, we have Mr. Haug, who will provide a presentation. Again, the capital budget serves the large, significant capital infrastructure and facility projects. And so the capital improvement program is looking at the 10-year long-range financial review of those projects.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The CIP is a 10-year balanced plan that addresses projects that are needed or will be needed across a broad spectrum of areas. It is a dynamic plan in which each year a great deal of effort is put into updating this plan to ensure not only the critical needs are being met, but also that the costs, scope, and timing of all the projects are coordinated throughout. Putting together a 10-year plan has proven to be almost a year-round process. It starts in September when staff estimates and submits projects. Then in April, the city manager submits a recommended plan for council review. City staff identify and prioritize projects, estimate project costs, determine available resources, balance project requests within the available resources, and ultimately submit a recommended program to the city council. One key consideration is the city's ability to fund the ongoing operations and maintenance costs associated with each project. As such, the projected operating impacts are incorporated in our long-range forecast each year. Not only does the capital program provide a schedule of planned improvements, it also identifies funding sources for those projects over the entire 10-year plan. Some of the key themes that went into developing this year's program included incorporating projects that address council policy goals, key investments in preserving and maintaining our existing infrastructure, and developing a full project that is well coordinated, that meets the development standards and minimizes disruptions to our citizens. And we plan for and incorporate the ongoing operations and maintenance of those projects. The city compiles a 10-year program for capital improvement projects, and this year the total 10-year program is $730 million. Peoria's plan addresses projects that are needed or will be needed across a number of category types. As you would expect, the largest components of improvements are the water, wastewater, and streets. The city is also making significant investments in areas such as parks, drainage improvements, and economic development. As mentioned before, this is a balanced plan, and we have identified funding sources based on reliable revenues that support both the one-time capital investments as well as the ongoing operating costs. And as you can see, there are multiple funding sources that support this plan. The city's operating funds at 33%, and that includes the use of one-time monies and fund balance to support targeted investments in our community. Development impact fees at 13% are used to finance large growth-related projects. And as you can see, we continue to utilize the GO bonds for significant portions of our general government projects, and those GO bonds are paid through the city's secondary property tax. The revenue bonds, they are at 22%. They support a lot of our utility projects. And of course, the Transportation Sales Tax Fund funds really a number of important street improvement, maintenance, and transit-related activities. As we talked about a while back, we spend a considerable amount of time prioritizing projects and evaluating available funding sources to ensure that we could address Council's highest priority needs. There are a number of important projects included in this proposed CIP, including the construction of Northern Community Park, the expansion of Pyramid Peak Water Treatment Plant, and numerous transportation projects that address traffic and drainage needs throughout the city. 3 weeks ago, Dina Lund, the engineering director, presented in detail the projects included in the 10-year CIP. And tonight, we're asking that Council adopt the proposed fiscal year 19 through 28 capital improvement plan. Then on May 15th, we'd be asking Council to approve the first year of the capital plan as part of the FY19 adopted budget. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
So we just have, what, 6 or 8 more meetings to go to approve these?
Right. There's a couple more, yeah.
Yes. Council, any discussion or questions, comments? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. Council, please vote. It passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, we will now move on to the Vistancia Community Facilities District Board meeting. This is the consent agenda, which consists of 2 items. 19C is the approval of the minutes from the December 12th, 2017 meeting, and 20C, the proposed fiscal year 2019 budget and tax levy for Vistancia Facilities Community District. Board members, are there any items to be removed from consent?
Yes, Mayor, I would like to request that item 20C be removed
All right.
for presentation.
Thank you. Then we will vote on the consent agenda with the exception of item 20C. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All right, Council, please vote. And the consent agenda passes unanimously. And Mr. Tyne, we will now hear item 20C, please.
Great, thank you, Mayor. And we have Sonia Andrews, who is our Chief Financial Officer and also serves as District Treasurer, that will provide a presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tyne. Good evening, Vistancia District Chair and District Board members. Item 20C tonight before you is the tentative budget for Vistancia CFD. The proposed budget totals $4.6 million, primarily for debt service. Funding will come from property taxes assessed on the properties within the district, as well as developer contributions. The district's goal is to maintain the existing tax rate. So the proposed budget has a tax rate that remains at 210. There is no increase in the tax rate proposed. Also, the budget includes a developer contribution of about $1 million. There's no city funds used to support the district. And there's also no new debt anticipated for the Vistancia district. And this is the tentative budget, and the district board will be holding a public hearing on May 15 and asked to adopt the final budget.
Great, thank you. Any questions? Comments? All right, do I have a motion on item 20C?
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Board members, please vote. Item 20C passes unanimously. Thank you. And we will now move on to the Vistancia West Community Facilities District Board meeting. And this is the consent agenda, which consists of 3 items. 21C is the approval of the minutes from the February 6, 2018 meeting. 22C is the proposed fiscal year 2019 budget and tax levy for Vistancia West Community Facilities District. And 23C is the investment report, quarter ending March 31st, 2018. Board members, are there any items to be removed from consent?
Mayor, again, I would like to ask for a presentation and remove item 22C for further presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, can I have a motion on the consent agenda with the exception of item 22C, please?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Board, please vote. And that passes unanimously. Mr. Tyne.
Great, thank you. And Ms. Andrews will provide a presentation for the Vistancia West CFD.
Okay, item 22C is the tentative budget for Vistancia West. Very similar to Vistancia CFD, the proposed budget is $3.7 million, and the funding will come from property taxes on the properties within the district, as well as developer contributions. And like the Vistancia CFD, the district's goal is to maintain the existing tax rate. The tax rate proposed is 210. There's no increase in the tax rate proposed. There's also no city funds that will support the district.
Okay. Council, any questions, comments?
Just a comment. Thank you for that. I just thought it was really important to highlight that there is no tax increase. These can be so confusing. There's so much information, so much that goes into them, and I think it's important for the citizens to know there is no tax increase. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, do I have a motion?
So moved.
A motion and a second. Board, please vote. And it passes unanimously. We will now move on to reports from City Manager. Mr. Tyne.
Great, thank you, Mayor and Council. And first off, we wanted to invite Chief Roy Minter to come up and also introduce a very important gentleman here for us, and he'll discuss a little bit about the City of Peoria's Citizen Police Alumni Association.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. As I'm sure you're aware, we've had a Citizens Police Academy since the early 90s, and it is one of the most popular programs for the department. The Citizens Police Academy is a 12-week course that allows citizens to observe and learn how police officers in the department operates. We recently graduated our largest class for our Citizens Police Academy of 39 citizens on March the 30th, that went through the, March the 28th actually, that went through the Citizens Police Academy. But one of the things that I noticed about this program is we did not have an alumni association, which we felt was very important for the graduates to be able to not only network with themselves, but to continue to be plugged into the department and continue to be plugged in with the city. So tonight, David Raghavan with the Peoria Police Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association and our Crime Prevention Education Coordinator, Lisa Maddox, who also serves as the department liaison for the association, are here tonight to provide you with an update on some of the exciting things the Alumni Association has and continues to do for the city and the Peoria Police Department. David?
Thank you. Mayor, council members, I appreciate the opportunity to come here tonight and explain a little bit about our organization and give you some information. As the chief said, we all come from the Citizens Police Academy. We formed a little bit over 2 years ago and basically hit the ground running, had our bylaws established, elected our officers, acquired our 501c3, and we just are going full stride ever since. So we basically have a basic mission, I guess, here, is just to support the mission of the Peoria Police Department. We feel that we need to establish a partnership, and that includes the police department, includes our community, includes our local businesses, and we just feel that when all that is involved and when all those people are involved, that it's a great benefit to all of us. So we really enjoy doing that. We have two main areas of focus that we concentrate on. One is the fundraising, and the other is the promoting of the community, positive community relations. So for the fundraising, basically, you know, it's nothing glamorous. Really, it's just a matter of getting out. We do a lot of different things. We get private donations, of course. Some come from fundraising events. We have garage sales. We have water drive donations. We just recently had a pretty successful pancake breakfast over at Applebee's, where we raised quite a bit of money. I think but probably our most important source of funding comes from the local business community. They're really our lifeline. We've had some tremendous success in generating some of those funds and donations from the local businesses. And some of those have made it possible for us to do a number of things. We were able to purchase a canine vest, a bulletproof vest for one of the canine dogs. We were able to supply, again, with a partnership with the business community, a lot of the equipment for the new North Station Canine training facility. So we're able to get a lot of that equipment for them as well. Some of the other things we have done, some DUI pedal carts, that's for the, I believe, the Youth Citizens Academy. Holiday meals, we try to get, a little bit of that in for the officers and the staff working on those holiday weekends. And they're working hard while we're having fun with our friends and family, so we really appreciate that. We most recently were able to purchase some industrial fans for the, where was that, for the motor, I believe the motor department. Pardon? For the property bank. Yeah, and to help keep those areas cool. We assist at some of the local events, the GAIN events, where they're helping pass out and doing some things, the Christmas activities that go on downtown, things like that. So, all of those things we're there for and we volunteer for. We're strictly volunteer. So some of our future goals, I guess, basically to continue what we're doing, supporting our law enforcement, trying to get those needed items that are not budgeted all the time, and you can't always get everything you want, we understand. So those items that are not sometimes budgeted, those are the types of things we try to do for the police department, and that helps, I think, support our community, which helps them do a better job, which benefits all of us. And that's really our main goal and our main function. We're fundraising. We do have some upcoming events that we're in the planning stages, and we're hoping those are going to be as successful as the ones we've had in the past. And just finally, just a few thoughts. There are some benefits that we feel are very important. One, it's easy to see for the department some of the benefits as I've outlined here today. Also for the city of Peoria, the things that we are able to buy, the funds we're able to raise, kind of, takes a little bit of the pressure off of you in establishing whatever kind of budget you need to do for the department. So we feel that helps relieve you guys a little bit of that responsibility. Not much, but, we do what we can. And then, for the community, basically. We have a great community. Peoria is a great place to live and work, thanks to you and law enforcement and the citizens and everybody in this community. It's such a tremendous place. We just have so many amenities and so many things that we're thankful for. But if we don't feel safe, basically, those things really don't mean very much. So it's real important to us to support the law enforcement. I know you guys do that as well. So it's very important for us to continue to do that. And basically, that is it. I'm going to turn it back over to the chief for some final thoughts, and thank you very much. I appreciate your time and the opportunity, like I said, to come and present before you.
All right, thank you, David. And I also want to express my thanks and appreciation to Mayor and Council, because I know several of you have attended some of the events that they've sponsored, and we appreciate your support in attending those events. I also want to acknowledge we have a couple of other Alumni Association members who are in the audience, and if I can have you folks stand up, we also want to acknowledge the hard work and the support we get from you folks. So thank you folks very much for being part. And Mayor and Council, as you can see, this is a great and expanding partnership between the Alumni Association and the Academy and the Police Department. And we're very excited about the association's future and very excited about this great and ever-expanding partnership between the two of us. So thank you very much for your support. And thank you, David, and the association for all of your support. Thank you. And now we'll answer any questions that Mayor and Council may have.
Council, any questions? Yes, Councilmember Binsbacher.
Thank you. I just want to thank you for doing what you're doing, and please You said just a little bit, this helps just a little bit. You know, don't underestimate the power of volunteers. Thank you all for your giving, for your time. This is really amazing. And if everyone does just a little bit, you know, that's how we move mountains as a community. And it's just a very important part of establishing the wonderful culture we have in Peoria. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. We hope you'll continue in your support and promote us where possible. Come out and visit us at the events where possible, and you know, we'd be happy to have you.
Thank you.
Nice presentation. Thank you.
Thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Just one quick other item. I wanted to call out an acknowledgement to one of our own staff, and that would be in the audience. You can see Dawn Prince. Many of you know Dawn is our assistant to the city manager. But just recently, she had just undertaken and completed a very rigorous, extensive program with the prestigious National Forum for Black Public Administrators. It's called the Executive Leadership Institute. This program is involving numerous universities across the country, which require Dawn to be involved in extensive academic work with Howard University, Syracuse University, University of Kansas, University of Georgia, and just did some amazing work and was able to work with 9 of her colleagues nationwide to go through this program. So actually, Dawn is one of just, I believe, 9 that graduated within the program. There studied such topics as policy analysis, problem solving, crisis management, effective media communication and relations, a number of other categories. So a huge achievement for Dawn, and just wanted to acknowledge that for her.
Right.
That is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, Dawn. All right, this is now time for call to the public, and I do have a speaker request form from Nan Shelton. Ms. Shelton, if you would just come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please.
I've only lived here 4 months. I can't remember the number, but I live on 89th Avenue.
And just an estimate is fine. Thank you.
17374, I think it is. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
I have it written down everywhere, but not with me. As I said, I've been here since January 11th. I moved from San Bernardino, California, where I was a resident for 50 years, raised my son, worked, retired, was an active member in the community. Came here because my son and family are here, but it's really been quite an adjustment. So after about my first month, I started coming to city council meetings, and that literally opened the world for me, and I want to thank you for that. My very first meeting, a gentleman by the name of Stuart Kent, who I believe is a city employee, found me out in a field somewhere practically. I had totally parked in the wrong place. He turned me around and got me in here, and I appreciated that very much. After a couple of meetings, I called Terry Smith, who is an administrator to the council, I believe, and she was fantastic. She put me on some email information. She recommended the Peoria Artisan Brewing Company, so I was totally in favor of that. She was just darling, very helpful. And since then, I've had a free paper shredding that was absolutely the most organized thing I'd ever been to. I went to the trailhead that was on 75th, grand opening on 75th, and I think Deer Valley. Was fun to see all the people that turned out, and I had a delicious egg burrito. I called about Ruth Linford, the Heart Food Basket, and I'm going to get involved there. 2 weeks ago, I had company, and one of the gals was packing up to leave and fell into the bathtub and dislocated her shoulder. So I now can also add the fire department to all the wonderful people I've met. They were absolutely fantastic. She was taken to, it used to be Arrowhead, I think it's something else now, on 67th, and fortunately her shoulder was just dislocated, though that's pretty major. And so she came back home the same day, but I stopped by what I thought was the station where they came from and took cookies and some goodies because they were all just fabulous and part of my marvelous experience. When I did the trailhead, I got a map of all the trails and the bus routes. And then I don't know how I get this wonderful magazine, Get Active. I don't know if everybody gets it or just me. I have no idea. But I'd like to think you just sent it to me personally. However, you did not. But I love it, and I've read everything in it. I think Mr. Patine is my council person, but I have not met him yet. And I just wanted to say thank you for making me feel welcome. It's just, it was a huge change for my life, and I'm so thankful to be here. This community is amazing. Your meetings are organized. Everybody, it's just clean and beautiful, and I'm so happy here, and I want to thank you for helping to make this such an awesome city. It's really been a wonderful experience for almost 4 months. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Well, San Bernardino's loss is certainly Peoria's gain. Thank you for coming and all your kind words this evening. We will now move on to reports from City Council, and we'll start with Youth Council Liaison Acosta.
Thank you, Mayor. So, I just wanted to take this time to commend the teachers that have been putting so much hard work, not only down at the Capitol, but inside the classrooms, dedicating so much time and kindness and so much effort that they put into teaching our students. I know it takes a really kind, big heart to become a teacher, but they are so much more than teachers and educators. They're so brave to be doing what they're doing, and I'm so thankful that I've been able to be taught by these wonderful people. So I just wanted to say thank you for everything that they've done in the past, what they're doing today, and what they're doing for our futures. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Patena?
Thank you, Mayor. On Friday, April 20th, I attended the Fire and Medical Awards ceremony at Rio Vista Recreational Center. It was a great event. It was a lot of fun. They had good food. The MCs were funny and engaging. I'd like to commend Tony Neely for winning the prestigious Johnny Valentine Award, and Ron Singleton, who received the Lifetime Achievement Award. My understanding is that Ron's been here 34 years and will be retiring this year. So it was a good event, and congratulations to everybody that won, that did get an award. And on Saturday, April 28th, I had the Park Fest at the Camino Alago Park. The police department was there with a bike rodeo, giving free helmets away. And we gave 5 bikes away to children. They had a climbing wall, hot dogs, snow cones, kettle corn, face painting, and fun art projects for kids. A lot of city staff was on hand providing all the city events and services. Everybody knows I am a real big fan of Park Fest. They bring neighborhoods together. They bring families together. I got there started at 6:30. I got there about 6:15, and it was pretty cool to see so many families coming in with folding chairs and kids in tow and going to enjoy a movie. We had free hot dogs, free snow cones, free sodas, kettle corn, and it's just a great time for families to get together at essentially a free event. I'd like to thank Community Services. They are really excellent at putting on Park Fest, and they always ensure great success. So thanks, John, for your work and your staff's work. And on April 24th, the Vice Mayor and I attended a Public Safety Awards dinner over at the Masonic Lodge just across the street from Monroe. They recognized the top police officers, the fire, and DPS for their extraordinary efforts in the community. It was a nice event. It was nice for our police and fire to get awards. The Vice Mayor gave a nice speech, and it was a fun evening. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Binsbacher.
Thank you, Mayor. I, again, want to thank our volunteers that have all been recognized in one way or another this evening. They're a big part of who we are as a city. We can't do this without you, so thank you. Also, I want to mention, I was under the weather and not able to attend, but on the 21st of April, we had our annual river and trail cleanup. And again, want to thank more volunteers. From what I understand, that was a success. Later that same day, we had the Planet Palooza Earth Day Festival at Copper Hills Church in West Wing. Again, another fantastic event. I really look forward to seeing this annually. It's been so well received by the community, and I think that is a direct result of Lisa Estrada and her team. All of the staff members that are out there pitching in, planning this event, coming up with some great creative activities to engage families and children. Great job, and I have received some great feedback on that, so I look forward to next year and what surprises are in store. Also, coming up on May 5th at Lake Pleasant, Pleasant Harbor, we will have Break at the Lake event, which will be a fantastic family event, runs from 3 to 10 p.m. Again, on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. There'll be live music, food trucks, all kinds of activities out there. So I really encourage folks to get out there and take part in that event. And then on May 12th at 8:30 in the morning, Saturday morning, at Copper Hills Church, we'll be hosting another shred event in partnership with Alex's Lemonade Stand, which they raise funds in an effort to find for treatment for pediatric cancer and hopefully one day a cure. So that's a great collaboration coming up on May 12th. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe that he has raised over $12,000 for pediatric cancer, and he's 10 years old?
Yeah, I think he's 12 now.
12 now.
He's been doing it a long time.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of quick comments. I won't rehash the events that Bill and I attended on the Public Safety Awards, but it was truly fantastic to see them get recognized. And so it was a very, very nice event, and I was honored to be able to speak at that event. I also want to congratulate Vanessa Hickman on your appointment. Congratulations. You are joining a phenomenal team here, and you're going to find the employees here at Peoria just to be fantastic. So welcome aboard. We're really, really happy to have you. Don, congratulations to you. Very, very well done. Very proud of you. And I wanted to thank Ms. Shelton for her comments. We don't normally hear people come down and say glowing things. I think we all feel that way about our city, but it's always very nice to hear, and it's rare that someone would take the time to come down and actually say those kind words. But I also do want to say that I think the employees here are what make this city, along with our citizens, but our employees are just absolutely amazing in this city, and I can never say enough good things about them, but I appreciate hearing it from someone that's new to the city and recognizes it. So all the accolades to the employees here on how well you treat our citizens and the job that you do. So that's all.
Thank you. Councilmember Edwards.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple comments. On the 21st, I attended the Party for the Planet cleanup, and Lisa, I want to thank you and your team for a phenomenal job. The partnership between Glendale and Peoria out in the riverbed cleaning up, there was probably 100, 150 people that were out there cleaning up the area, and it was just phenomenal to watch. And I worked with quite a few people just pulling some unbelievable things out of that riverbed. And so I just want to thank you, John, and your staff as well for coordinating that. It was every year it's amazing what gets pulled out of that riverbed, and so your commitment to helping the environment clean it up is well thanked. So thank you on that behalf. Then on the 24th, I attended the annual swag event over the Peoria Sports Complex, and I want to thank Chief Mentor for coming out and giving some inspirational words to the Peoria youth. I want to especially thank Officer Dave Fernandez and the fellow SROs at all the high schools. The turnout was just phenomenal. I know normally you take them to ball games or soccer games or whatever other games you take them to, but this year your approach was a little bit different, and you brought them over to the sports complex and did all the activities within the sports complex, and I think it really helped showcase the partnership between the city of Peoria and the school district, because the events that you guys put on were so well perceived by the youth, the tug of war, the water balloon tosses and everything else. It was just really neat sportsmanship. So I just want to thank you for putting that on. And that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, Councilmember Hunt.
Last Wednesday night, we welcomed about 40 citizens and other folks to Driftwood Coffee, an Axiom venue in Old Town, for a branding meeting. Old Town is still deciding what it wants to be when it grows up. It's about 100 years old now, and we're getting there. And this was the last meeting of this type that we'll have. Now the consultants will come back with a definitive plan, which we can, we'll just use it. We won't necessarily accept it in its totality, but we will certainly use it. And I was just pleased that so many people came out, because they are so committed to building up Old Town again and making it a wonderful place. By the way, if you haven't been to Driftwood Coffee, in addition to the distillery, Miss Sheldon, we have a wonderful coffee shop in Old Town. Both of those are new businesses in the last couple years, and we're very, very proud of the growth and development that's happening in Old Town. Lisa, kudos again to you and to everybody who helped you. Party for the Planet is just fun. It's so creative, Lisa, and I know you visioned the whole thing with the Desert Defenders and all, just really cool. And the trail cleanup, I just frankly can't go do that. I can barely pick up my own yard, but I would not, they'd be pulling me out of the trail if I went down there. But I understand that a lot of people came, and again, that just shows what great citizens we have. If you're going to use the trails and you are able, then go and help them clean it up. Now, my part for the environment was more along something that I can do. I went and read to two first-grade classrooms at Peoria Elementary School. I read the monumental bestsellers, Why We Need Water and Why Recycle. And they were mesmerizing, I have to say. The children just were left on every word. So anyway, that was fun, and they really did enjoy it. I also gave some recycling books to the library there so that the kids can go back in and check those out and read them. Congratulations, Vanessa, and welcome. We're just so happy to have you. Don, you know what I think about further education, and it just fits you. You just were the perfect pick for this, and I'm so proud to know you and to hug you and just to let some of your intelligence and your literacy rub off on me. You are really amazing, and Jeff, I know you know what an asset you have in her. So, congratulations to the Peoria Women's Club. They took first place in the state for the domestic violence seminar that we put on a year ago in January. And that's quite an achievement. There are a couple hundred clubs across the state, and this was a big meeting, and they took first place in that. It took a lot of other first and seconds, but that's a huge one. Okay, Ask Me. We have the Ask Me corner back here. Well, only 2 people in it tonight. But Ask Me, oh, that went away. Okay, Applebee's must have come across a good thing with the pancake breakfasts. They probably don't pay their servers anymore, because Ask Me is having a pancake breakfast there this coming Saturday, May 6th. It's a repeat of the event that we talked about earlier with the police folks. May 6th, 8 to 10, and $8. Is that all you can eat? Okay. And Ask Me folks are going to be volunteers. They're going to be table clearers. And you guys aren't going to cook it, are you? Okay, great. So be sure you go out. Oh, and what I wanted to tell you is that the beneficiary of this is a little 2-year-old girl who has a very bad heart. and she needs surgery, and she needs a new heart, actually. She's just a little doll. I'm looking at her picture here on my phone. And so this is called Give a Heart fundraiser. And their theme is Short Stacks for a Tall Cause. So that's really great. And I'm going to be out there. I might even serve or clean up or whatever. Okay. I think, oh, and then ask me too, you're the big winner tonight. I'm so thankful you guys donated $2,000 to the Heart Pantry. They've been in business for several years now, and they started with computers that a couple of the people just had in their home, and they didn't support any kind of software that they needed. So they needed some new computers, and I kind of sent out a big message by carrier pigeon, and ASME was very generous and donated $2,000. I don't know how many computers that purchased, but I think it went a long way. They wanted 2 new ones. So I'm pretty sure that supported quite a ways to that. So thank you. And thank you all for coming tonight, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Leone?
Yes, thank you. On April the 20th, I went to the Fire Medical Awards ceremony. It was just great to see all these young firefighters get awards. They gave them to Peoria Firefighters Charity Awards, the Cadet of the Year, Citizen Support, and many others. It was just a great thing to see our people get awards, and the Civilian of the Year, and also they always give it out in love and memory of John Valentine, who used to be a firefighter many years ago. Also, I'd like to mention on the Move celebration at the Lutheran Church on 87th and Olive every 3rd Saturday. For $10, you can get fruit and vegetables and bread. So if you want some fruit and vegetables and bread for $10, you can get a big box and pack it up and take it home. You'll have for the whole week. Also, I went to SWAG. SWAG was something different this year. They didn't go on a bus tour to the baseball game or a basketball game. They stayed right there at the sports complex, and they had many games they played, toys they played, and it was just terrific. It was just something new for me to see, and they all had a great time, and I want to wish them a lot of luck. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you. Youth Council Liaison Getrust.
Thank you, Mayor. On Saturday, April 28th, I attended a food stalk at the Peoria Sports Complex, and there were a ton of food trucks that were there, and the food was just really great. Lastly, I just want to say congratulations to everybody who got an award today, and congratulations to you, Dawn and Vanessa, and sorry to hear about your retirement, but congratulations, Steve Berg. Won't be missing you. So yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you. Well, I think that is a lot. And so with that, we are adjourned.